Is there something that you want to do that seems impossible? Do you talk yourself out of going after your dreams because they seem unrealistic? If so, this episode is for you. It's about why you need to go after things like that, the things that seem impossible. You're listening to Pure Light, where we explore how to become the highest version of yourself so that you feel worthy of your craziest dreams and confident in your power to make them happen. My name is Aili. I'm a coach and a Kundalini yoga and meditation teacher. This is episode 58. So in last week's episode, I talked about how jealousy shows you what you believe isn't possible for you, and how jealousy is useful in that way because it makes you aware of what you believe isn't possible. And I wanted to expand on that today and talk more about why it's a good thing to discover you believe that something that you want is impossible. So if you have ever been talking or thinking about something that you want and then told yourself something like, that's crazy, that's impossible, I could never do that, that's never going to happen, then this episode is for you. So I remember a few years ago when I realized I needed to write a book. I remember being in Bali and talking to this guy and saying, like, I need to write a book. And he was like, yeah, you need to write a book. And at that time, it was totally overwhelming because I was like, I don't know how to do that. And I don't even have time because I'm going to try to build a business. And there were all these excuses that I had, and I was totally overwhelmed. And I'm pretty sure also I thought that writing this book would somehow ruin my life in some way because people would hate me. And, I don't know, there was a whole bunch of stuff around it. And there have been so many things along the way that have helped me. And every one of them has been a necessary step along the way. Like I know Liz Gilbert's Big Magic book helped me with a lot of those beliefs about, this is going to ruin my life or people are going to hate me, that kind of thing. And the most recent things that I've read or done to help me with the book, I read Stephen Pressfield's Nobody Wants to Read Your Shit, which really helped me see how to kind of like architect the book and put it together in a way where I'm telling like a bigger story. And I've also been watching Joyce Maynard's Writing Your Story program on Creative Live. And that's been helping me with figuring out how to actually write it, like my voice in the book. And both of those are things that I've needed. Well, all these things have been things that I've needed along the way. And basically what's been happening is whenever I find myself coming up against some block, I find some tool, some resource, some person, some conversation, something in some format to help me move forward. Because my belief that I cannot write a book was so strong. Like I thought that it was impossible for such a long period of time because it was so overwhelming and because I had all these reasons not to do it, that I could easily revert back to that at any point and just give up on the whole thing. But I keep finding these things to help me move forward and that ultimately fuel me. And so as a result of all this, I'm still working on it. And more importantly, I no longer doubt whether or not it's possible. Like I have no doubt that it's going to happen. And that's very exciting. So dreams that feel impossible don't have to be dismissed. You can do things that seem impossible. And the first step is giving yourself permission to try, to approach it with kindness and loving curiosity. If you only allow yourself to do things that seem doable, you aren't giving yourself the opportunity to expand and grow. Because it isn't about what you get, like it's not about the ultimate result. It's about who you become in the process. So not going after these things that seem impossible is a way of keeping yourself small because you're playing it safe instead of allowing yourself to grow to your full potential and discovering what you're capable of. I know from personal experience how challenging it can be to work with limiting beliefs because there's often some kind of rationalization or justification that comes along with them. So if you need help seeing beyond your excuses, go back and listen to episode 35. It'll give you a tool to help you find the willingness to try in spite of the excuses that are getting in your way. And if you need help dealing with fear, self-doubt, and negative self-talk, and want to talk it out, sign up for a free coaching session with me. Find the link to do that to book a free discovery call in the show notes for this episode 58, at purelightpodcast.com. So the next time that you find yourself thinking, I can't do that, that's impossible, instead of using that as a signal to give up, use it as a signal to give yourself permission to try, and then see what happens. If you enjoyed this, leave a review wherever you're listening, and subscribe to Pure Light for new episodes every week to help you fall in love with yourself and see everything in a new light. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, may you be guided by your light.